Hey, God cast a sphere to earth, a vessel that copied everything it touched. For 10 long millennia, it lay there, motionless and cold, like a common stone. Then, a wounded white wolf collapsed nearby. It assumed the wolf's form and began to live. It wandered through the deep, endless snow, drifting aimlessly. When night fell, it reached a small, lonely house, and the boy living there was absolutely overjoyed to see it. He owned that same white wolf that had died. The boy brought it inside to warm it up. And there, he felt a peace he'd never known. He even shared his prized salted fish with the wolf, so the wolf decided to stay for a while. The next day, they went to an abandoned house for Firewolf. As food was running low. Everyone else had left 5 years ago for paradise. But the young boy stayed behind to look after the elders who were unable to travel. Over the past year, they all passed away, one after another. Now, he found himself left entirely on his own. Suddenly, the wind chime began to ring. Oh, the boy thought someone had returned. He happily ran back home with the white wolf. But when he opened the door with hope, the house was still empty. Following the sound of the wind chime, he saw a large fish caught in the line. After a long time, this was the boy's first moment of real joy. To ensure that he wouldn't forget his family, he had drawn their pictures on the wall. The young boy decided that he and his loyal white wolf would leave at the break of dawn to see the wide, beautiful world. After packing up all their meager gear, they finally set off on their long journey. But feeling quite unsure of the path, he soon found an old stone signpost with clear directions to guide them. They couldn't ignore the fact that paradise was just ahead. So they kept following the signs, and their firm resolve to escape kept them from even feeling the cold. One day, as the boy stepped forward to check another signpost, the ice beneath his feet gave way and he fell into the water. When he climbed out, he was soaked through and in a terrible state. The ice had left a deep cut on his thigh. With no other choice, they rested right there. After applying a simple bandage, the boy was confident he would be better by tomorrow. No matter what, he wouldn't give up. So he kept pushing forward through the heavy snowfall. But instead of healing, his injury only got worse. Even so, he kept encouraging himself. If he gave up, he'd be stuck rotting by that lonely house for the rest of his life. Then he found another signpost. After clearing the snow, he saw that it had been marked with the wrong directions. On the very brink of total collapse, he finally caught sight of a small, distant village nestled in the valley. Dragging his weary, aching body towards some stone benches, he whispered to the wolf that they were finally on the right path. Yet, in that cold, bitter moment, the crushing truth finally dawned upon him. They had simply circled back to exactly where they had begun. After wandering in a large circle, he had ended up right back where he started. The boy could no longer control his emotions. He broke down and wept. Despair completely overwhelmed him. After returning home, he fell severely ill. Even then, he kept trying to give himself hope. That swat night, he stumbled out of bed and collapsed onto the floor. Then, crying in pain, he decided to crawl to a chair and sat down. He was deeply afraid of the humiliation of being discovered in such an undressed state. After bidding the white wolf a final, solemn goodbye, he leaned his head back and passed away. Moments later, his lifeless body slumped heavily down to the cold, hard floor. The white wolf attempted to lift him up, but he offered no response at all to the touch. Suddenly, the white wolf fell. Then it transformed into the boy. In that moment, he inherited the boy's dream to leave the snow, find his family, and see the world. He kept moving forward without pause, just as the boy had, from his heart.